Alrighty everyone, welcome back. It is now July 9th of 2025, and given that the Meghan Markle backlash is only growing in numbers every single week, the more times that she tries to resist against Hollywood, outright rejecting her, a lot of studios are now beginning to turn their backs against her. They want nothing to do with Meghan Markle or her shenanigans, and it's only getting worse as time rolls by, in the midst of all the reshoots happening as we speak for With Love Meghan Season 2. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. Now, one thing about Meghan Markle is that we already know that she is trying to latch on to any opportunity that she can grasp to actually remain in the spotlight, to remain in the limelight, or whatever it may be, to remain as she sees it as relevant in the film industry, and it is completely backfiring. Now, we already know that she has been blacklisted and fired by multiple studios out there, and the way that she's been reacting lately has been truly something that we have not seen before, because she's getting worse by every single month that passes by, especially in this year. We know that Meghan Markle is beginning to actually deal with the reality checking in at this point, right? She's beginning to realize that no studio out there wants to work with her. Her time in Hollywood is extremely limited as we speak right here, right now. Now, what's interesting about all of this is that we already know that Meghan Markle is already beginning to actually go against the studios in the worst way possible that you could even imagine. And one thing about Meghan is that she's very narcissistic. She will never, ever admit to any of her own issues or anything related to her actually having her own ideas. She always steals from others. She always plagiarizes people. That's how she is. However, with Meghan Markle endlessly getting herself caught up in drama, not just with Netflix, but other various studios in Hollywood, one significant development that is now active involves more to do with Meghan Markle fired, the Meghan Markle fired situation, essentially, and how she is now going off the rails behind the scenes and in the public toward HBO after she was fired a while ago from the studios from doing her fitness series. Now, already Meghan Markle is also in the planning stages to create a legal case against HBO and its many executives and the CEO after they decided to tear up her contract midway through working on her extensive deal where production for her fitness show was scrapped entirely some months ago. Now, this is when she was blacklisted from the studio as well, where she will never be able to even visit the sets or productions under development by HBO. Where it stands right now is that Meghan Markle is also gathering a legal team, much like what she is currently doing against South Park Studios, as we speak, in a last-ditch effort to gain funds from HBO if she wins a lawsuit in the end. To make matters worse is that Meghan Markle and her team are already working on a strategy to call out HBO and what they did to her on her new upcoming podcast that will be dedicated to discussing celebrity life in the film industry. She is also planning a social media campaign to call out HBO and the truth about her fitness show that never came to light. Meghan Markle is also planning to do the same exact thing with Amazon MGM Studios after they also blacklisted her and fired her from the reality TV series and that project that was supposed to debut on Amazon Prime Video. Meghan is planning to also expose them in the same way on her new podcast that she is already dubbing as M for Meghan. The podcast is planned to drop sometime during the fall of this year, where she plans to call out every single studio that fired her and blacklisted her from the industry as a last-ditch effort to attempt to get them to cave and come crawling back to her to renegotiate before moving on with her lawsuits that will most likely fail miserably across the board. Now guys, let me say one thing about Meghan Markle here yet again. Seems like that this is her last-ditch effort, right? If you can't make money from studios, just sue them. That's basically what Meghan Markle is doing at this point, and that's all that she knows what to do when it comes down to a situation where she is pretty much put in a corner and the walls are closing in. That's how it plays out. And it's very lazy, it's, very thin-skinned, it goes to show you how much of a coward she really is. And that's just Meghan Markle. That's exactly why people are tired of her nonsense. Not just the public, but the many executives of many different studios out there that cannot stand her. Now, moving on, already Meghan's own manager and agent, get this, are even giving her a very serious warning that after she goes through with this, there will be no turning back and her time in Hollywood will be forever over. However, Meghan is reportedly not listening to them, and only her own dedicated team that has been working with her for many years. The same team that worked on her social media campaign, quote-unquote, that put together that pregnancy video. Meghan also went as far to force her manager to inform studios like HBO and Amazon that she is getting prepared to call them out on her upcoming podcast that she hopes will go viral on social media to put the studios in their place for blacklisting her, essentially. And again, I mean, the fact that she's going this far to literally creating a new podcast dubbed as M for Meghan, which sounds ridiculous, sounds like a little kid's thing. But when you look at things like this, alright, the fact that she's going after several studios and she plans to call them out, she plans to sue them, she plans to take legal action against Amazon MGM Studios and HBO, because they didn't want to put out a fitness series in the end. They didn't want to put out a reality TV show featuring Meghan Markle because of how destructive she really was, both behind the scenes and in the public, and how she was actually trying to gain more money. She kept on renegotiating. You know, we already talked about this like a month ago. She kept saying, I want more than that. I want a higher payout. And Amazon and HBO, they weren't having it at all. They were just very exhausted over all the drama. However, this destructive behavior is also beginning to worry many Netflix executives, since she does indeed represent them with Love, Meghan Season 2, and that trailer is set to drop in the next few weeks if all goes to plan with the editing. Now, still to this day, however, Meghan wants both a fitness and reality TV show where it stands, and she will grab onto any studio that will allow her to get that opportunity. And again, the fact that she wants a reality TV show, the fact that she still wants that fitness series, whatever studio is willing to do something like that, whatever studio would do something like that is ridiculous. But she's really putting out a lot of hope there that somebody will actually say, yeah, we'll give you a contract deal, we'll give you this, we'll give you that, whatever payout you want. And essentially that's basically what she's chasing after, and it's not working. Now, we know that she's still trying to land that game show deal with NBC. We talked about that also like a week ago. That's still in development as we speak, and whether or not that comes to fruition is going to be very interesting. I think NBC would be fools if they really did allow something like that on live television, to have Meghan Markle as a host or someone like a judge on a panel with the contestants or anything like that. I think it would be utterly ridiculous, especially in 2025, after all the cringeworthy stuff that she's been putting out there, you know, including that pregnancy video, which was off the charts crazy. But we already know that when you're looking at Meghan Markle, she doesn't care how she appears. She doesn't care about how she sounds. Especially, she doesn't care how she negotiates with studios or what she does to them. And this seems like that she's really just getting very bitter. She's getting very angry. She doesn't know how to essentially take control of the situation, that she's now put into a boxed corner and there's no way out, right? She doesn't know any kind of an escape route when it comes to her dwindling Hollywood career, if you even want to say that she ever had a true Hollywood career, right? But overall, I would love to hear what everyone has to say about the whole Meghan Markle situation, not just at Netflix, but also now, what she plans to do against HBO and Amazon after they ditched her. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.